Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Thank you for joining me. We are having a concurrent live stream with YouTube and my TikTok friends. So I'll be with you for an hour, answering questions as you wish, and hopefully it'll be helpful to some people around the world, whatever your issue may be. We talk about thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, ego, breakups, why you're stuck, how to move on, what games your psyche is playing, how to understand what has happened, and how to bring that balance and happiness to yourself, back to yourself. And at the same time, we talk about OCD, OCD subsets such as HOCD, intrusive thoughts and pure O and things of that sort. You're welcome to throw your questions in, and we just see what we have here on YouTube. We have Chinmay, 21, male, India. Now, our protocol is just three little things: age, gender, where you're tuning in from, like male, M for male, F for female, or however you signify your inclination, and then the gender, the age, sorry, the age, and then the city or the country that you're from. So at least it gives me some information about your cultural background, your gender, how to address you, and at the same time, the appropriateness of your age and how I should be approaching answering your questions. So we have Chinmay, 21, male, India, says, I'm trying to sincerely habituate myself to a healthy, beneficial activity. It's just so, what? Draining at first and requires lots of head scratching since it learning. So what's the topic? Chinmay says, good day, Mehran, 21, male, India. How do you perform a task when you're angry? Oftentimes, I find myself so consumed, I'm unable to even do an activity I'd otherwise enjoy, let alone fulfill my duties. Obviously, that anger changes your mood. And when the frequency of your mood, that energy type changes, you get depressed. And that could have something to do with your um, expecting others to give value to you rather than you knowing that you're valuable based on your accomplishment in life, the things you have learned and experiences. So you expect that affirmation from the others. And if a certain behavior of theirs towards you does not enforce that affirmation that you expect, you get internally in low mood, and that affects your level of happiness, serotonin, dopamine, and you go inwardly and you don't feel like you want to do anything. Otherwise, you're just as strong as half an hour ago, but just suddenly don't feel the mood to do anything. So you need to also understand that anger is going to go away. But while it's with you and stops you from doing what you want to do, what needs to be taken care of by you at that moment, whether it's your studies, exams, or a telephone call or a job you have to do, that's still going to be needed your attention. And if you don't, that window of time that is necessary for you to take care of that task goes. And when your anger goes away, it's too late for you to attend to that thing. So you shouldn't allow the anger that is temporary and its mood is not health threatening to stop you from doing your duties and responsibilities, because the opportunity to conclude that duty and responsibility will not be given back to you, and you will lose that window of an opportunity to do something to get the benefits of it, or to attend to what you wanted to accomplish at that moment or that day. And that opportunity goes away and you lose on that, not the anger. So the anger causes you to deprive yourself from accomplishing what you wanted to accomplish. You're attending to your duties, and that's going to be the. So understand that this mood will go away, but what needs to be taken care of now will not have the opportunity to do it later on. Let's say if it's an exam and you don't want to study and you go mess it up, they're not going to give you a, take back just to say, oh, I was angry. That opportunity window is closed. So you allowed your anger to actually sabotage your life goals and what you needed to do to accomplish what you want to accomplish in life. So if you cognitively understand that all these that you worry about is not permanent, but while it's there, makes you to do or not do things that its effect would be permanent in your life, or at least for a long time. So that should stop you say, okay, I'll be angry after I complete my task. Right now, it's not the time to pay attention to the anger or whatever it caused it. So right this moment, I'll remember I want to be angry, but at the moment I got to do this, then I'll be angry. So, and by, by the time you do that, you're no longer angry, because none of these things that you get angry about really is of any importance. It, 2 days later, you don't even remember. So don't react to something that itself is dissipating as time goes by, but you want to attack it and deal with it with something that is going to decimate by itself, but you want to decimate it with them. What for? Or you want to spend your energy like that? And so we have Joa Baca, I guess you're from Brazil, says, good night, Meran. Male 19, Brazil. I'm having a problem because I can't tell if my thoughts are intrusive or not. Well, the brain that is making the intrusive thoughts is the same brain you're using to find out if it's intrusive or not. So if you have a gadget to check the tire pressure of your tires in your car, and the gadget is broken, but you still want to use that gadget to get the right answer, right pressure, it won't work. So you can't be, if your brain is in the glitch of OCD or intrusive thoughts, that brain is not qualified to tell you that it is or it is not, because it's not going to tell you it is not. It's already in glitch of intrusive thought. So it's going to tell you it's your thoughts, it's you, it's true, it's factual, it's credible. You need to then rely on your awareness. Your awareness is you. The brain is not you, you're not the brain. The thoughts are not you, you're not the thoughts. You judge the thoughts, you judge the brain. So your awareness, which is based on your values, which you keep it in your gatekeeper. Dr. Phillipson talks about gatekeepers where your values are sacredly taken care of and secured. Dr. Schwartz calls it the wise advocate, and I call it superconsciousness. Either way, these are your values that you have put in that little place, whatever you want to call it, and you take care of it, you find it your foundation of your life, and you judge everything else that the brain or other people utter or interact with you on the basis of your values. So it's your awareness that you should rely on to tell you if it's intrusive or not, and that can. But the brain itself, who's actually in the glitch of intrusive, making intrusive thoughts, is not going to tell you it's not. It's going to tell you this is the right thought. This is you. It's not going to tell you this is intrusive thought. So you can't fix an engine with a broken gadget and expect to get the right reading from that broken gadget. You got to change gadget. All right. Now let's go to our TikTok friends and see if you have anyone here. Thank you for giving likes, guys. Everybody on YouTube and TikTok, please do me a favor and click on like if you like it, because that helps the algorithm to recognize us. Otherwise, as you know, everybody swears by the content of the YouTube channel videos that we have, over 3,000 videos on the topics that we talked about, but hardly people find it. That's why we only have 28,000 subscribers rather than 2 million, which every one of you thinks that we should have. So let's see what we have in here. If we have any comments from our TikTok friends. One new message. Let's see. Do we have a message? We don't have a message. Everybody has joined, but no one has a message on TikTok. So we go back to our YouTube and see if we have a question there. We have Titli says, hi, Uncle. What should I order for dessert? I don't know. Maybe tea would be a good idea. But you know that we are not here to decide for your dessert. And perhaps you can ask the waiter there. And so let's see who we have. We have no question from TikTok. TikTok friends are quite enthused, but they just like to watch. No questions comes through it. And oh my goodness. And okay, who else is here? Well, we've got lots of people here, but no questions. So we go back to YouTube. And Tim is here. Tim Subs says, hi, Meran, 19 male England, says, I hope I am finding you in good health. I hope so too. I'm still trying to find myself in good health. And says, and that you're generally doing well. Thank you. I appreciate that for asking. He says, I have a very normal issue, and that is that I want to go to university. I crave independence and want to progress in life and can't do that whilst at home with my parents. But on my visit days, I felt very homesick and I'm doubting myself. Tim, I lack some information. Are you at home and want to go to university, or you are at university and you visit home once in a while, and this is how you think that it interrupts your flow when you go home? I'm not quite sure. It says most of my friends are choosing to go to university locally whilst at home, but I don't want to do that. I feel this is a very common issue, but still one that bothers me. I'll be spending at least 3 years, as well as a lot of money. So it's something I want to get right. But the concept of the right decision has always been something I find difficult. I'm trying to let go of having regrets. Listen, it all comes down to if you have the money or not. If you have the money yourself, naturally you don't, you can make that decision on your own. If your parents going to pay that money for your education, well, listen, they may not actually mind you staying at the university campus, but it might be a question of finances. They may be able to pay you for your college, but staying in school and paying for rent and paying for all the other things, the food and so on, it's going to be extra that they may not have. So you have to consider that. You might want to start going to university at the local university for a couple of years. And while you're going to university, maybe get a job to have a little bit money, save that money, and then 2 years you can transfer to a college of, further down in distance, or the kind of college that you want to go, and you can transfer all those credits to the new university. And your parents at the time would know about your plans for the 2 years. They've been maybe trying to also save some money, plus the money that you make from the work that you get beside going to school. And then you can arrange that. Otherwise, expecting your parents to do what you want to do at 19 years when they have all other financial obligations and trying to make ends meet for everybody, it's a little bit unreasonable, if you agree with me. Just imagine you have children and bunch of children, not just one, and then you got to prepare and for all their costs. And one of them says, "I don't want to stay at home and go to university. I want to go to university, which is more expensive, costs you more, but I want to do it because I want to do it." Well, you got to prepare for it. Make some money yourself, and then combine it with the money that they would allocate, and that could be done. But you can always make changes. So you can go to college locally, see how it works, and get good grades, maybe get a scholarship. These are all motivations for getting what you want to do, or get some job and then move to the other one. So let's see if we have anything from our TikTok friends. 29 new messages, but it's not messages. It says Jack says some of your videos was very helpful for me. Thank you. You're quite welcome. There are over 3,000 videos on YouTube channel, my YouTube channel called The One Point. THE, next word ONE, next word point, POINT. And you just have to type in the search engine of my channel a word that describes what you're looking for. And if it has to do with thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, ego, if it has to do with breakups and relationship, if it has to do with how to move on, or has to do with OCD and OCD subsets, HOCD, intrusive thoughts, and so on, you will have some video showing up. And then you can also see if that addressing your questions. And thank you for sharing that with me. I don't see a question. Oh, there's one. Byung O'Sullivan, or something like that. I hope I didn't butcher your name. Says, and makes me feel, oh, there must be another one. Says, my OCD latches onto existential thoughts. What's the purpose of life? Why am I here? Etc. And makes me feel like I have to have an answer. The question is on a loop. How do I get past this? Well, the problem with most OCD things, especially pure O, as Dr. Phillipson puts it, the intrusive thoughts and on, is that you're looking for a conclusion. And that's the problem. Let go the conclusion. Life is dynamically changing. Life is like a river, and it's just constantly moving. And as you're moving on this bed of the water, along with the movement of the water in the river, on the banks, there's so many different things happening, so many scenery, so many stores, so many stories, so many happenings. And as you move on, things change. Life is dynamic. So if you want a conclusion, even if you find a conclusion, that conclusion is for this moment. As you are, your cognitive abilities, experiences, and that's how you see it. But then a minute later, you're a different person. Everything, all the cells in your body is changing, and everything else, as far as experiences and understanding, wisdom also changes as life goes on. So you will have a different conclusion at that stage and that space, time and space in your life. So let go of the conclusion and use this very profound philosophical secret word that you can use every time that you feel you have a conclusion or something hits you, intrusive thoughts hits you, and wants you to figure out why it's there, what does it mean, and what could it have to do with you. It's very scientifically, and it's probably won many prizes in some of the venues, and it's called whatever. Your brain comes up with the intrusive thoughts, like it says you're an asshole. So okay, whatever. You don't need to look for reasons to debate with the brain. Brain is an organ of yours, is a subordinate of you. It's not your master. It's not your deity. It's not your wisdom. So you don't have to explain to the brain, convince the brain, argue with it, debate with it. I'm not an asshole. How do you care? What do you say? What do you mean? When? And you start going through trying to convince the brain that you're not an asshole, or whatever else it comes up. It may actually attack your sexuality, say you're not this what you are. Or it might actually say something that has nothing to do with anything, but it creates a question. You just use the magic word, whatever. You don't need to explain to the brain. Brain is like your intestine. Intestine gets diarrhea, and you can recognize that this is diarrhea. I don't have to prove it. I don't have to. It's a diarrhea. That means it's sickness. So I got to fix it. So you get, I don't know, yogurt and Imodium or whatever it is, you get rice, and you try to you recognize that is a malfunction when the intestine are in producing something that is out of character. And so therefore, same thing with the brain. But when it comes to brain or any other organ that malfunctions, you recognize it. Say there's something wrong here. I gotta go fix it. Well, when the brain utters some garbage, nonsense, suddenly you think, oh, it's a deity. It's a brain. The brain says whatever it says must be correct. I got to now find out why is it there? Why did it say so? I got to come to a conclusion about it. No, you don't. Brain is an organ. Brain is not you. You're not brain. So it's just as um, easy for the brain to malfunction as anything else. And in OCD discussions, we talk about the components of the brain that goes into a malfunction glitch, and then how it affects everything else. And then you got to know about all this, from amygdala to midbrain basal ganglia to caudate nucleus to striatum to prefrontal cortex. You all got to see all the games and all the parts they play in this malfunction. And you can't just say because the brain suggested, then the brain is right. It's deity, so I should believe it. Now I'm changed. No, you got to understand that the brain also fucks up and it goes into glitches of malfunction. And to educate yourself on that helps you to get over the OCD and everything else. So, to make it short for you, you don't need to look for conclusion, meaning the answer. No answer, whatever. And use your wisdom, use your awareness to judge the brain's uttering. Not the brain would be the deciding factor of how you are, who you are, what you should be thinking or doing. So judge the thoughts. The brain is a thought manufacturing plant. That's what his job is. Makes 80, 90,000 thoughts a day. So you want to go and come to conclusion for every one of these 80, 90,000 thoughts a day that the brain makes? You don't have that kind of a time in life, let alone per day. So chill out, stop concluding. That comes from your OCD perfectionism, that you want to have everything, you want to be in control of everything. Just live as a human being. We are limited to many things, and appreciate and celebrate who you are rather than trying to bring to that perfectionism that you think exists. Okay? All right, let's stop it at that. Otherwise, we're going to go one on one, and that's not what I want to make this to be. And Anthony Moreno is here. Says male 28 USA. Where in USA, Anthony? Says, hello, my question is, why do I continue to doubt my decision in breaking up? Your desire is interfering with it because you want to make sure you're making the right decision, and you cannot, because there is something called in behavior and organization that at the time one makes a decision, one believes that that decision is correct. Otherwise, you wouldn't make that decision. So obviously, there's something not right in that relationship, and you're aware of it. But the external forces, such as your desire for intimacy, sexuality, your um, familiarity with the routine of the day, the order of the day, which has become your habit because it plays in your habit center and has conditioned you to follow these regimen, these routines, mechanical processes that you do every day. This is what you do. And through the mechanical processes, you create a routine. Through the routine, you create an order in life. And that order, which is how you do things during the day with your girlfriend or however, your brain, your mind, I call mind and brain the same at this moment, but mind is different than the brain. But for the sake of conversation, we just call it the same. Your mind finds security in the order of life. Mind also wants security, just like your physical portion of the body wants security. You find the physical portion of the body security for that through being in a safe environment, physical safe environment, such as I'm in my apartment, the door is locked, I'm in good part of town, so I'm in a physically safe environment. So my body, the physical part of my body, my being finds security in that physical safe environment. But the mind doesn't find security because of the environment. Mind finds security in being occupied. In the order of life, it finds its security. So when you think about breaking up with your girlfriend, your other senses tells you, then what am I going to be handling my life as I am in habit of while the girlfriend is, and we have this connection and this interaction during the day, which has created our routine and our order. So what am I going to do when the order is no longer there? So you feel what is going to pain you when that routine is broken up. And that's why you're double thinking, should I break it? Should I not break it? Will I find somebody else just as good? Will I find somebody else just as good as some of the things that this relationship has, which is good? There should be some good stuff. And so these are what interferes, and and you actually don't want to let go this branch unless you have your hand on other branch. Otherwise, you're fearful of, if you let go, you fall. So you don't want to let go of the relationship because you don't have anything else, and you're going to miss all the good things that a bad relationship even has. Like, there's some moments of solace and comfort, and you're thinking about those because the brain usually goes for the pleasure part of an experience, doesn't want to remember the problems. So in a relationship, why you have a hard time to break up when you know you got to break up is because your brain selects the good pleasurable moments to represent the relationship with, and then you doubt yourself, why should I want to break up when there's so many good things in it? But when you actually focus on the problems and the future of this as it goes along, then you'll say, okay, even though there's some good things in here, but I got to focus on the actuality of the relationship. Therefore, the actuality seems like there's lots of things that bothers me. It's not going to go where I want it to go, so I better cut it off, and then you'll stay with it. Otherwise, these things that I mentioned will confuse you and make you and convince you that you should stay with it because you're focusing on the good parts. That's what the brain does. That's why that's what the human psyche is conditioned to think about the good stuff and forget the bad stuff. If it wasn't the case, the people, the women who get pregnant and they go through tremendous, horrendous pain to deliver that baby, with all that pain, they don't remember that 2 months later. They're ready to get pregnant again because the brain is conditioned to forget about the pain and focus on the pleasure. And for this reason, your brain is focusing on the pleasure parts of the relationship and doesn't remember all the reasons why you want to break up. And that's why it gives you back and forth. Okay, having said that, let's go to TikTok and says 61 new messages, but they're all just messages of joined, no questions. I guess my TikTok friends are just enjoying the show. It says, hi, it's a good way to straight up uh, ignore intrusive thought. Oh, is it a good way to straight up ignore intrusive thoughts? Yes, because that's what the brain does. And 80, 90,000 thoughts a day, many of them, if not most of them, could be intrusive, depending on all the information that seeped through your brain and with all the things that is irrelevant to you, but is being talked about on mediums and TVs and political affairs and this and that. All these things that may not be pertaining to you, but it seeps through your brain, and the brain finds all these information and makes thoughts about it. That's its job. But your job is to see if it's useful to you to pick it up and use it. Or if it's not, ignore it. And that should become automatic. And when you have intrusive thoughts, you can rely on Dr. Schwartz's 4-step, which is relabel, reframe, refocus, and revalue. And these things will happen when you train your brain by teaching it how to do this. And after a while, it does all the 4 steps in a jiffy, and you don't have to even think about it. Now, for the Dr. Schwartz 4-step, you have a video on my channel that says Dr. Schwartz 4-step. Just type in 4 steps and it'll come in. And I've explained Dr. Schwartz's interpretation of the 4 steps and how it takes place. And you will know how to rewire your brain through the 4 steps as the time goes by. And this becomes, it rewires the glitch of the brain and brings it back to its default setting. And who we have here again, we have 10 new messages, but none of them are really message. They're just hellos and thank you. I appreciate that. Don't forget to like the channel if you want, if you will, the program. It will help the algorithm to recognize us a little bit better. So on YouTube and TikTok, if you wouldn't mind, if you're enjoying it, please click on like. We need to promote our YouTube channel because YouTube somehow doesn't circulate my stuff, while we know people swear by it around the world when they find the channel. So put a like so the algorithm will circulate our channel's content. And Carl says, hello, Mehran. Carl, 39 UK. Hello, Carl. It says, I'm really struggling to get through a breakup with my ex. I was with her for 6 years and she had 3 kids from a previous marriage. I was going to propose to her, but she left. Well, good riddance. A woman who is with you for 6 years and then suddenly she leaves, well, better now than later. For 6 years, you probably, I hope that you were a good person to her and you treated her right. And if that was the case and she still left, well, then that's not your cup of tea. Let her go. There's so many amazing women in this world that you shouldn't be worried about anything. I know what bugs you, your connection with the kids and your connection with the story that you had made. Now you don't have the actors for the story and the script that you have made all through these for the future continuation of this movie. I know. But look, sometimes, you know, you got to hire a different actor in the middle of the movie. So you can't help that. You got to accept that she has left and she's probably with somebody else, because if they don't have anybody else, they don't leave, especially if they've got a bunch of kids. So she must have found somebody else for whatever reason. I don't care. And I don't want you to care. I know it's hurtful, but you got to face the fact. The fact is, You cannot be in the memory. Memory finds pleasant things and sticks you with those pleasant things, and you wonder, why would I ever be able to forget about it, because all these things were good. But I want you to focus on the factual actuality of who she is. She is no longer with you. Accept that she's not there. You got to create a new routine for yourself in life. Otherwise, you keep going back to the memory in order to see the routine as it was, so your mind finds security in the memory of the routine that it was. But create new things in your life, new interests, let go by accepting that it's gone, finished, and create new things. So bring a new routine, a new order in the actuality of living life. So your brain finds security in this new order, actuality in daily life, not having to go into the memory, and in the memory finds her, and that triggers the desire file is already recorded there, and prerequisite to desire file, click on, and then you desire her while you really don't have any reason to. So first, accept that she's gone. So don't give reality to the memory by keep thinking about it and thinking that's your reality. Bring yourself back to the present moment, accept that she's gone, and then you're in the present moment. Then you will deal with life. Then you will go on and you will find new routines, and things will get back on its natural flow. Says, me 2 years ago. Oh, what? And she left me. She left. Continue. 2 years ago for a guy. Oh, then I was right. 16 years younger than her. All right then. They are now engaged to be married. All right, good riddance. Don't even think about that girl. That girl is fucked up. That woman is fucked up. And you just are thinking about the pleasure moment, the fact that she's with someone 16 years younger than all that bullshit. Let her swim in that shit that she's creating. She doesn't know what the fuck she's doing. So don't worry about it. That's your cue. Somebody up there loves you to get rid of that for you, because that thing would have been a disaster. If this wouldn't have happened now, it would have been happening after you asked her to marry you. And she, out of whatever it's available, would say yes. And later on, she would still be looking for somebody to fuck, and you will be really fucked then. So go celebrate, go count your stars. That's my recommendation to you. Says, I feel like such a fool picking her kids up from school. No, you're not a fool. You did what a man does. You're a man. You took responsibility, even though they were not your kids. You're an amazing guy. You took responsibility as a man, as a caveman. That's what we are. We protect, and you did your job. If she couldn't appreciate it, that's on her. You didn't do it for her. You did it for those kids who didn't have a father. Now, not your responsibility anymore. She has the custody, and let it go. I know it's going to hurt you because you probably bond with those kids, but that's their mother's decision. Free yourself of that. Go on, find another woman. There are amazing women out there. Don't get caught up with all that bullshit. She's responsible for her decisions, and you just go on with your life. You're not anybody's daddy. As long as they appreciate you and you can coordinate your efforts in life, and you guys stay together. When one doesn't want to, adios amigos. That's not going to. You cannot be two horses bound to a carriage and each want to go a different way. You've got to be coordinated. As long as you are, the relationship stays. If not, adios. Life is too short to having to hang on to please someone's stupidity and lack of morality and lack of commitment and faithfulness. No time for that. No soup for you. It's just, I feel such a fool, don't feel like from school and etc. Why she was texting is yet. There we go. Well, then that's on you. You kick yourself in the ass that you shouldn't have, that you actually wanted to marry this girl. And says it's left you broken. You're not broken. You'll be broken when I get on the plane and come on with that ugly stick and break it on your head with that kind of a mentality. You're a man on one side that you took care of those kids and did your duty. That's a man. Now this is a pussy. I don't want to hear that anymore. I want you to get up, shine yourself up, comb your hair. If you have hair, if you're bald, just pat it. Go out, find friends. Life and opportunities are not summed up in one woman or one relationship. There are amazing women out there, and don't let this woman to represent all the other amazing women out there. Go find one. And if you don't, I'll beat the crap out of you, provided that you consent. I gotta watch myself. And the horrible things that said at the end, well, then that's on her. That's not on you. By uttering some shit, you don't change. I have my own experiences about, some things that people could say about you, but that doesn't change you. People's uttering. If that was the case, then if somebody says that I'm a scholar, then I should be. Then if somebody says I'm a millionaire, then I should be. But I'm not. So it's not what people say, is what you do and accomplish in life that makes you who you are. So she can say whatever she wants to say when she leaves or she stays. Who cares? Broken, don't ever say that again. I know it sounds bad. It does. Sounds terrible. But I want her new relationship to no, 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 no. Her punishment is not the new relationship to fail. Her punishment is that she will have to stay with that relationship. Her punishment is that she doesn't have you. A man, a real man that you were, she doesn't have you. That's her punishment. So don't bother and involve yourself in punishing people. Just focus on building your own life, and building your life, funny enough, punishes the people that did you wrong anyhow as a byproduct, and makes you happy in the meantime, just building your own life. So I've never been a bitter person like this. The breakup has changed me. No, 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 no. It's changed you to better. You became wiser. You're not an idiot anymore to not see. You were so focused on serving the kids, you couldn't see the asshole. So change the equation here. You're not the asshole here. It's clear now. Go live your life. Says, I know I'm a fool to still be thinking about her and her kids. You're not a fool. Don't talk like that. You're just stupid. But I understand the kid part. And her, I understand, because we're all human beings. We have emotions. We exchange emotions, especially we men. When we love someone or like someone or take responsibility for or feel we're protecting that woman and the children, we have this emotional protective feeling. And when they don't appreciate it, well, that disappoints us. And that's normal. But don't call yourself a fool, and don't think that this is something that should change you. Nothing can change you. You still got to stay that amazing man, a good man, and with good morals and manners, and do what you're set out in this life to do. Says, my ex is 43. I think he's around 27. Oh, she's an idiot. So there's no, there's no, this is a comedy. And I'm really amazed that a man like you, how old are you, Carl? Did you say how old you were? Did you? 39. Jesus. Yeah, just move on before I really get upset. And where are you in UK? What's your address? I'll come bearing the ugly stick. All right, go on, live your life. Don't be an asshole. All right, now we have Kamran here. So let's see if our TikTok friends, 48 new messages. But these are not messages, these are just hellos. Let's see. Joined. Thank you for joining, but there's no. Says some comments in this live were filtered. Protect community. Oh, fuck your community bullshit. That just have these garbage filtering this, censoring this. I'll do that myself. Don't make decisions for me. TikTok is now what? Symbol of morality. Jesus. All right. Okay, I guess we have no messages from our TikTok friends. It's just hellos. What happened with your TikTok friends? Don't you guys have any questions? All right, then we go back to YouTube. Sophie Audios says, hello, do you think the brain automatically filters up the intrusive thoughts even if we don't give them attention. It does when caudate nucleus in the striatum in midbrain basal ganglia is not malfunctioning. Its job is to shut down intrusive thoughts according to your values that you have in your gatekeeper, wise advocate, superconsciousness, your principles. But when it malfunctions, then when the intrusive thought shows up, caudate nucleus doesn't shut it down. When it doesn't shut it down, it hovers. Prefrontal cortex says, well, what is this? It's still here. And so you think because it hasn't decimated, it hasn't, you know, um, disappeared, then it must mean something. Then it must have credibility. It's not that it has any credibility. It just means caudate nucleus, the lever that is responsible to shut down the intrusive thought, is not working as it always did. Which is, as Dr. Schwartz explains, that you need to treat it as, let's say, caudate nucleus be example as a gear shift, automatic gear shift in a car, that it makes changes according to the speed. For example, it goes keeps changing gears. But when it doesn't, it goes no gear change. That's the time you're supposed to grab onto the manual gear, supposedly, just to understand it, and place it, put the gear shift into the gear so it goes switches it. So right now, caudate nucleus is not doing its job. It's like the automatic gear shift that is malfunctioning. So through the 4 steps of Dr. Schwartz and many other understandings of how the components of brain are involved in this glitch, you need to help the brain to rewire itself to get back to its default setting so it will start functioning. So you teach the lever, you teach the caudate nucleus again how to behave. How? By when an intrusive thought shows up, you recognize the intrusive thought and you interpret it, you label it. In other words, intrusive thought shows up, it's not a deity. You challenge it, you label it, you explain it. So, for example, you feel anxious. You say, I feel anxiety now. You just explain the feeling. You get a label to it. Then you reframe it. Is there something wrong? Or do I feel something wrong? Is there something wrong? Or do I feel so? So you now put it in the context. You first relabeled it that how you're feeling. I'm feeling anxiety now. So you explained it. Then you reframe it by saying, is there something wrong? Or I feel something wrong. So now it is more clear that this is a bogus. It doesn't have your judgment yet. You're judging it. Is it the fact that I am feeling this way because something is wrong? Or I'm just feeling this way, meaning I'm tricked to feel this way. When that's clear, then you say, okay, now I recognize this is intrusive thought. It's just fucking with me. So now I refocus. So I take my focus from this nonsense that the brain has gotten me involved to. Now I sort it out, explained it to myself, labeled it, reframed it, and I now refocus this energy to something positive, like drinking tea, and listening to music, go for a walk, talk to a friend, listen to something that you like, or watch something that you like. You refocus the attention from this. Now, brain is learning that this thing happened, this what happened, this came over, he did this, and he now refocused, meaning there was not energy given to the quality of what was being suggested. And then after a while, the brain revalues this whole thing. And then after a while, all these 3 steps, including the 4 steps, done automatically before you actually to do the relabeling and reframing and refocus. It just does. It shows up and the brain shows. That's when the caudate nucleus is getting back to its normal rewiring. So you kind of repaired it. That's all. Otherwise, there's no deity there. So we go back to Kamran. Kamran Etemadi says, hi, sir, Mehran. Hope you and your mom are doing well. Thank you for asking. I appreciate that. I was there yesterday, as I am there every day at 4 o'clock. It was a bit late yesterday. It was like 4:30 or so. And mom was talking things that was not mm, clear. Like, she was talking about things that was not happening. She was talking about her sister, that she went to her home, and the other sister also joined them, and she bought that jacket that she's wearing. But the sisters have long gone, and they're not there. So mom is in that stage sometimes, and that could be due to some infection that she's taking the antibiotics for. But otherwise, she's always happy when she sees me. She keeps hugging me, and she says, "I'm alive because I see you," and so on. So it's very emotional for me. Um, I I usually hit the gym right after, and that's pretty good to do that. All right. Sorry about that, guys. um, so just wanted to share that I have moved on past my break. Oh, excellent. And being what? And been going on dates. Excellent. And nothing has come off it yet, but I'm putting myself out there. Excellent. Good idea. Keep doing that. Sophie says, thank you so much. Your advice helped me a lot. You're quite welcome. Thanks for sharing. Kamra says, I'm sure it's hard, Mira. Okay, but she's so lucky to have such a great son to help take care of her. I worry about my parents passing and how I will be able to handle that. We're never ready. We're never ready. Uh, my father is gone 13 years ago, and I loved him so much. I, I, I have his picture right on the wall here, but I have a hard time looking at it. So we'll never be ready, but that's part of the journey of life. Can't do anything about it. If we could, then we could have expected a lot more from ourselves. But when we can't, we just got to understand that's that's the journey of life. Hopefully, there's something out after this somewhere, and we'll find out. All right. Sophie says, I find it very helpful for me to recognize and label the OCD cycle. Excellent, good. I focus on Dr. Schwartz's studies and 4 steps, and that will help you a lot. And Kasar Star says, hi, Master. Master of what? Says 24 male Kurdistan. Oh, my goodness, the first time we have someone from Kurdistan. Which side? Iran side or Turkish side? I guess there's both um, Kurdistans there, I guess, no? And he says, I have HOCD. I think I'm in mess because my brain doubts everything. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? And I have some act when I am 17, when I was 17 years old, for same sex, but I'm sure I'm heterosexual. Well, when you were a kid, you could be abused, and you could be talked into doing something that is not your nature. And so it doesn't count, because when even you experience something and you say, "Well, that's not for me," so that's the end of it. So you are heterosexual, no doubt about that. You are the one who actually uh, can continue on the path that you prefer. So uh, none of that at that age really is considered of any value until you become of the age that you can see effects of society, peers, and abusers, and so on. And then your brain becomes strong enough to be able to have your own values and not to be influenced by others' pressures or interests or suggestions or whatever else. There's so many things involved that affects your decisions at a certain age. When you're still a minor, it doesn't count. You say on the Iraq side, yeah, okay, good, 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 good. Uh-huh. Okay, so let's see what we have here. There's 52 new messages on TikTok, but none are messages, unless I'm just blind, but no. So everyone who liked the live stream, I appreciate that. Please do. It helps the algorithm to recognize our channel, whether it's TikTok or YouTube. And you guys remember, I have a site called mindthatseekstruth.com. Mindthatseekstruth.com. That site is on my bio. If you guys go on my page for the biography, you can see the site URL there. You can click on it and you can make an appointment with me for discussing what's concerning you one-on-one on Skype. I also have a group session that up to 10 people can be on Zoom, and we'll see each other and talk rather than typing the questions. And that needs at least 3 people to create that session. And we have one already there. It's been waiting for a while, but I guess nobody's feeling comfortable to talk in a group. So maybe that investment to give that option on the site was just futile. In any case, you can make an appointment for an hour. Anybody who's a new client makes an appointment on Skype for us to chat on Skype for an hour. I'll throw in another at least half an hour so we can relax and get to know each other, and we don't have to rush. And we'll discuss what's concerning you one-on-one on Skype. Mindthatseekstruth.com. All right, and my YouTube channel is The One Point. THE, next word ONE, one, and next word point, POINT. The One Point. You'll have over 3,000 videos in regards to thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, ego, breakups, why you're feeling this way, what to do to move on, and nitty-gritties of that, how it plays with your psyche. And then we have topics, hundreds and hundreds of videos on OCD and OCD subsets such as HOCD and intrusive thoughts and so on. And you can educate yourself and help yourself to be able to rewire your brain through neuroplasticity, as it is explained thoroughly in the videos, works of Dr. Schwartz, and we talk about Dr. Penfield, Dr. Sperry, Dr. Owens, Dr. Leibet, and their experiments in laboratory. These are Nobel Prize winning type of echelon of studies, and very helpful to recognize and see you're not the brain is not you. So all these intrusive thoughts and so on is just something you need to rewire and help it, but it's not representing you. All right. So, and Kosar says, thank you, Master. Don't get me embarrassed. I'm now no master. Says, Sophie says, I will share your channel on my YouTube community. I would appreciate that, Sophie John. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. All right. Okay, guys, it's been an hour and 2 minutes. It's time for me to mosey on and get ready to go and see my mom and do other things that perhaps maybe some new videos and editing. But remember, I have a site, mindthatseekstruth.com. You can make an appointment to talk to me on Skype on what's concerning you one-on-one. And until our next live stream, I want to say I love you all. Thank you very much for being here, giving me the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. I look forward to our next live stream. In the meantime, be good to yourself and to the others. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Subscribe on my channel, visit my channel, and go through the videos that you might be interested in. Mindthatseekstruth.com is making it one step away to talk to me one-on-one on Skype and discuss what's concerning you. I'll talk to you soon.